Hi guys, welcome back to the Casual Watch Review channel. So today I've got a review of a brand that I've not covered on the channel before, although I am very familiar with their parent company, the Dartmouth brands. They own a number of watch brands and they also make watches for other companies as well, but the two most famous brands I would say, or the ones that I'm most aware of, is AVI-8, which is the brand I've not reviewed before, and one that you've seen me review on the channel many times, and I'm a big fan of their watches, is Spinnaker. What we'll do is we'll flip the camera around, I'll do a full review, and then let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this watch. Before we do that, if this is the first upload of mine you're watching, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button, and also if you enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button. It's the easiest way you can help me out on the channel. If you're interested in more longer form content, we also do a podcast called Casual Watch Talk, audio only. We cover all the horology news for that week, and we also deep dive and do interviews as well. So check that out, Casual Watch Talk on iTunes, Stitcher, on your favourite podcasting apps. Now back to the AVI-8 watch, let's flip the camera around and do the review. So here we have the AVI-8 watch. It comes in this very nice fabric box with the brass pusher on here. Open it up. Here's the watch. Nothing that fantastic about the box. We've got AVI-8 time instruments, a nice polishing cloth, a bit of a manual, and you'll see the tag there. Let's get to the main event. Let's get to the watch. So here we have the watch. This is called the Flyboy Lafayette Chronograph. And AVI-8's number on this is the 4076. It's named after the Lafayette Escadrille. This was a famous unit of the American volunteer fighter pilots who served under French command during 1916 as part of World War I, or the Allied effort towards World War I. The name of the watch pays tribute to the Marquis de Lafayette, who was a French hero of the American Revolutionary War. Aside from the initial core squadron, other American volunteers would join the French air effort, and their presence marked them as members of the wider Lafayette Flying Corps. They were well known as showing immense bravery and courage to volunteer in the face of America's own neutrality during World War I. I'm just going to put a glove on here because it's exceptionally reflective, this watch, and I don't want you getting a big close-ups of my fingerprints on this watch. After the war, many of the Lafayette Escadrille and the Flying Corps would serve as founding fathers of America's combat aviation with the formation of the now well-known American Air Force. AVI-8's little blurb on this is that imagining a watch bearing the Lafayette name, AVI-8 uses design bookmarks from the late 1910s and 1920s fused with the practicality and modern mechanics of current watches. This is my first AVI-8 watch that I've reviewed, and I think you need to see the dials in person, honestly. Normally this heavily layered dial of AVI-8 watches don't personally appeal to me, but this is more refined like their sister brand Spinnaker. But the theming here of the Lafayette Escadrille is really taken to the next level. The watch is available in a few different options. I think if you're needing high visibility in lower light conditions, I would go with the white dial. This blue I think is the best combination, but in some lighting conditions the contrast between the rose gold and darker blue takes a second to concentrate on. Also, the peach coloured lume is almost the same colour as the hand, so there's no significant contrast there, as we can see. I'm going to start here with something I hardly ever see on a watch, and that is theming around the date window. Here it's inspired by the airspeed indicator on the instrument panel of a plane. The syringe-like hour and minute hands are brushed and are more of a rose gold colour. This is something Spinnaker also do with the brushing. My only issue is the brushing is never really that refined. I wonder if highly polished hands might work slightly better. The lume shot here is mainly just the hands and the outer indices. They've done a decent job, One thing that is funny about the loom shot is the unceremonious amputation of the bottom half of the 0 for the 10. It looks more brutal in the loom shot than in normal lighting, I think. Going back to the theming now, and the 24-hour display here has a very distinctive 19 and 16 marked in red. This denotes 1916. This is when the Lafayette Escadrille was constituted under French command. At the bottom here is the running seconds. For me, this is the best use of Mecha Quartz. On most Mecha Quartz watches using the Seiko VK64, there is no running seconds here at the bottom. This puts me off nearly every other watch using Mecha Quartz. But here, AVI-8 have gone to the effort of making a version that has a running seconds, and that's to be commended in my opinion. One of the great things AVI-8 has done here is to create a satisfying snapback when you press the pushers, very reminiscent of mechanical watches that have movements like the 7750. One of the other cool things with using Mecha Quartz is it allows a snapback of the chronograph. The hand also has split-second accuracy to 1/5 of a second, with a satisfying smooth sweep that we more commonly see on a mechanical watch. For me though, I find a more useful complication on quartz watch is solar charging, and I would happily trade a sweeping second hand for solar functionality, but there is probably no way you could include solar in such a detailed dial here. Now the centre dial, the centremost layer of the dial inspired by the wing pattern found on the Newport 17. This was the aircraft flown by the Lafayette Escadrille, and the wing inspiration is followed through by the markings that appear on the reverse of the second hand. The watch here also features a pulsation dial. The translation here means graduated for 80 pulses. This means that if we were to start the chronograph and count a patient's pulse for 30 beats, we can tell their heart rate by looking at this scale here. Of course, this is commonly used in watches for medical personnel, but arguably is a more useful complication than a tachymeter for the average person if you're wanting to check your heart rate, maybe after exercise, etc. Now I think the case here is well executed and feels very solid. It has some weight to it. This gives the watch a nice expensive feel, I think. Obviously a lot of thought has gone into this case, and I really like what they've done here. 42mm pilot field case is what they call it. It's topped with a hardened mineral crystal. Now this has a sapphire and anti-reflective coating. Here we can see the onion crown that we more commonly see on pilot watches and early trench watches, and of course is fashioned after pocket watches of that era. AVI-8 also call these pushers piston-like pushers, so from the pistons of an engine, and I think that's probably an accurate description of them. Moving around to the back now, the caseback is carved with a framed Indian head, and this is the insignia of the Lafayette Escadrille. You often saw this on aircraft flown by them. They've done an excellent job of this engraving, certainly on a watch in this price range, I would say. Taking a closer look at that bracelet now, and they've done a really good job here. This is a Jubilee style bracelet, completely brushed, so no polished centre links, although there is polishing on the side. They've got the nice clasp here with the push buttons and also the safety fold over. 3 layers of adjustment on this side. It uses pins, but it does have solid end links, and I think for a watch in this price range, it's a really good bracelet actually, significantly better than what you would get on a Seiko in this price range, I think. So guys, that was my review of the Flyboy Lafayette Chronograph. I think for the price, it's an excellent value quartz watch for the money. They've done a great job of machining the case. The dial, the printing on the dial is very precise. They've gone with a theme that they've followed all the way through. They've not just named the watch after the Lafayette Escadrille and left it there or put something on the back. They followed the theming all the way through, and that theming on the date window as well, I don't remember seeing anything like that before. I'm really glad for Spinnaker, who sent me this watch in for review. And just my little disclaimer as we finish off here, they have sent this watch in for review, but they haven't asked for, been given, or been offered any input in this review, positive, negative, or otherwise. This is my view of the watch. What I'm more interested in is what you guys think, so let me know in the comment section down below. Do you like this watch? Are you familiar with the AVI-8 brand? If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. That is the easiest way to help me out on the channel. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time on the Casual Watch Review channel. Thanks guys, bye.